All for Love, or The World Well Lost, a tragedy by John Dryden. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Dramatis Personae.
Mark Antony, read by Thomas Peter.
Ventidius, read by Peter Tucker.
Dolabella, read by Phil Schempf.
Alexis, read by Daphne Ma.
Serapion, read by Alan Mapstone.
Myris, read by Chuck Williamson.
Gentleman 1, read by Mike Harris.
Gentleman 2, read by Todd.
Cleopatra, read by Beth Thomas.
Octavia, read by Sonia.
Charmian, read by Lian Yao.
Iris, read by Kay Hand.
Agrippina, read by Zoe Spilius. Antonia, read by Genevieve Eleni.
And narrated by Rob Board. Prologue. What flocks of critics hover here today, as vultures wait on armies for their prey, all gaping for the carcass of a play. With croaking notes they bode some dire event, and follow dying poets by the scent. Ours gives himself for gone. You've watched your time, he fights this day unarmed, without his rhyme, and brings a tale which often has been told, as sad as Dido's and almost as old. His hero, whom you wits his bully call, bates of his mettle and scarce rants at all. He's somewhat lewd, but a well-meaning mind, weeps much, fights little, but is wondrous kind. In short, a pattern and companion fit for all the keeping Tonys of the pit. I could name more. A wife and mistress too, both, to be plain, too good for most of you. The wife well-natured and the mistress true. Now, poets, if your fame has been his care, allow him all the candour you can spare. A brave man scorns to quarrel once a day, like Hector's in at every petty fray. Let those find fault whose wit's so very small they've need to show that they can think at all. Errors like straws upon the surface flow. He who would search for pearls must dive below. Fops may have leave to level all they can, as pygmies would be glad to lop a man. Half-wits are fleas, so little and so light, we scarce could know they live, but that they bite. But as the rich, when tired with daily feasts, for change become their next poor tenant's guests, drink hearty draughts of ale from plain brown bowls, and snatch the homely rasher from the coals. So you, retiring from much better cheer, for once may venture to do penance here. And since that plenteous autumn now is past, whose grapes and peaches have indulged your taste, take in good part from our poor poet's board such rivalled fruits as winter can afford. Scene: Alexandria. Act 1. The Temple of Isis. Enter Serapion, Myris, priests of Isis.
Portents and prodigies have grown so frequent that they have lost their name. Our fruitful Nile flowed ere the wonted season, with a torrent so unexpected, and so wondrous fierce, that the wild deluge o'ertook the haste even of the hinds that watched it. Men and beasts were born above the tops of trees that grew on the utmost margin of the water-mark. Then with so swift an ebb the flood drove backward. It slipped from underneath the scaly herd. Here monstrous foci panted on the shore. Forsaken dolphins there with their broad tails lay lashing the departing waves. Hard by them, sea-horses, floundering in the slimy mud, tossed up their heads and dashed the ooze about them.
Enter Alexis behind them.
Avert these omens, heaven!
Last night, between the hours of 12 and 1, in a lone aisle of the temple while I walked, a whirlwind rose that with a violent blast shook all the dome. The doors around me clapped. The iron wicket that defends the vault, where the long race of Ptolemies is laid, burst open, and disclosed the mighty dead. From out each monument in order placed, an armed ghost starts up. The boy king last reared his inglorious head. A peal of groans then followed, and a lamentable voice cried, Egypt is no more. My blood ran back, my shaking knees against each other knocked. On the cold pavement down I fell entranced, and so unfinished left the horrid scene.
Alexis showing himself.
And dreamed you this, or did invent the story? To frighten our Egyptian boys withal, and train them up betimes in fear of priesthood.
My lord, I saw you not, nor meant my words should reach your ears. But what I uttered was most true.
A foolish dream, bred from the fumes of indigested feasts and holy luxury.
I know my duty. This goes no further.
'Tis not fit it should, nor would the times now bear it, were it true. All southern from yon hills the Roman camp hangs o'er us black and threatening, like a storm just breaking on our heads.
Our faint Egyptians pray for Antony, but in their servile hearts they own Octavius.
Why then does Antony dream out his hours, and tempts not fortune for a noble day, which might redeem what Actium lost?
He thinks 'tis past recovery.
Yet the foe seems not to press the siege.
Oh, there's the wonder. Maecenas and Agrippa, who can most with Caesar, are his foes. His wife Octavia, driven from his house, solicits her revenge. And Dolabella, who was once his friend, upon some private grudge now seeks his ruin. Yet still war seems on either side to sleep.
'Tis strange that Antony, for some days past, has not beheld the face of Cleopatra, but here in Isis' temple lives retired, and makes his heart a prey to black despair.
'Tis true, and we much fear he hopes by absence to cure his mind of love.
If he be vanquished, or make his peace, Egypt is doomed to be a Roman province, and our plenteous harvests must then redeem the scarceness of their soil. While Antony stood firm, our Alexandria rivalled proud Rome, Dominion's other seat, and Fortune striding like a vast colossus could fix an equal foot of empire here.
Had I my wish, these tyrants of all nature, who lord it o'er mankind, would perish, each by the other's sword. But since our will is lamely followed by our power, we must depend on one, with him to rise or fall.
How stands the queen affected?
Oh, she dotes Serapion on this vanquished man, and winds herself about his mighty ruins. Whom would she yet forsake, yet yield him up, this hunted prey to his pursuers' hands? She might preserve us all, but 'tis in vain. This changes my designs, this blasts my counsels, and makes me use all means to keep him here, whom I could wish divided from her arms, far as the earth's deep centre. Well, you know the state of things. No more of your ill omens and black prognostics. Labour to confirm the people's hearts.
Enter Ventidius, talking aside with a gentleman of Antony's.
These Romans will o'erhear us. But who's that stranger? By his warlike port, his fierce demeanour, and erected look, he's of no vulgar note.
Oh, 'tis Ventidius, our emperor's great lieutenant in the east, who first so dreamed that Parthia would be conquered. When Antony returned from Syria last, he left this man to guard the Roman frontiers.
You seem to know him well.
Too well. I saw him at Sicilia first, when Cleopatra there met Antony. A mortal foe was to us and Egypt, but let me witness to the worth I hate. A braver Roman never drew a sword. Firm to his prince, but as a friend, not slave, he ne'er was of his pleasures, but presides o'er all his cooler hours and morning councils. In short, the plainness, fierceness, rugged virtue of an old true stamp Roman lives in him. His coming bodes I know not what of ill to our affairs. Withdraw to mark him better, and I'll acquaint you why I sought you here, and what's our present work.
They withdraw to a corner of the stage, and Ventidius, with the other, comes forward to the front.
Not see him, say you? I say I must, and will.
He has commanded, on pain of death, none should approach his presence.
I bring him news that will raise his drooping spirits, give him new life.
He sees not Cleopatra.
Would he had never seen her.
He eats not, drinks not, sleeps not, has no use of anything but thought. Or if he talks, 'tis to himself, and then 'tis perfect raving. Then he defies the world and bids it pass. Sometimes he gnaws his lips and curses loud the boy Octavius. Then he draws his mouth into a scornful smile, and cries, "Take all! The world's not worth my care."
Just his nature. Virtue's his path. But sometimes 'tis too narrow for his vast soul, and then he starts out wide and bounds into a vice that bears him far from his first course and plunges him in ills. But when his danger makes him find his faults, quick to observe and full of sharp remorse, he censures eagerly his own misdeeds, judging himself with malice to himself, and not forgiving what as man he did, because his other parts are more than man. He must not thus be lost.
Alexis and the priests come forward.
You have your full instructions. Now advance, proclaim your orders loudly.
Romans, Egyptians, hear the Queen's command. Thus Cleopatra bids, let labour cease. To pomp and triumphs give this happy day, that gave the world a lord, 'tis Antony's. Live, Antony, and Cleopatra live. Be this the general voice sent up to heaven, and every public place repeat this echo.
Ventidius aside.
Fine pageantry.
Set out before your doors the images of all your sleeping fathers, with laurels crowned. With laurels wreathe your posts, and strew with flowers the pavement. Let the priests do present sacrifice. Pour out the wine, and call the gods to join with you in gladness.
Curse on the tongue that bids this general joy. Can they be friends of Antony, who revel when Antony's in danger? Hide for shame, you Romans, your great-grandsire's images, for fear their souls should animate their marbles, to blush at their degenerate progeny.
A love which knows no bounds to Antony would mark the day with honours, when all heaven laboured for him, when its propitious star stood wakeful in his orb to watch that hour and shed his better influence. Her own birthday our queen neglected like a vulgar fate that passed obscurely by.
Would it had slept, divided far from his, till some remote and future age had called it out to ruin some other prince, not him.
Your emperor, though grown unkind, would be more gentle than to upbraid my queen for loving him too well.
Does the mute sacrifice upbraid the priest? He knows him not his executioner. Oh, she has decked his ruin with her love, led him in golden bands to gaudy slaughter, and made perdition pleasing. She has left him the blank of what he was. I tell thee, eunuch, she has quite unmanned him. Can any Roman see and know him now, thus altered from the lord of half mankind, unbent, unsinewed, made a woman's toy, shrunk from the vast extent of all his honours, and cramped within a corner of the world? O Antony, thou bravest soldier, and thou best of friends, bounteous as nature, next to nature's God, couldst thou but make new worlds, so wouldst thou give them, as bounty were thy being, rough in battle, as the first Romans when they went to war, yet after victory more pitiful than all their praying virgins left at home.
Would you could add to those more shining virtues his truth to her who loves him?
Would I could not! But wherefore waste I precious hours with thee? Thou art her darling mischief, her chief engine, Antony's other fate. Go, tell thy queen Ventidius is arrived to end her charms. Let your Egyptian timbrels play alone, nor mix effeminate sounds with Roman trumpets. You dare not fight for Antony. Go pray and keep your cowards' holiday in temples.
Exeunt Alexis, Serapion. Re-enter the gentlemen of Mark Antony.
The Emperor approaches, and commands on pain of death that none presume to stay.
I dare not disobey him.
Going out with the other.
Well, I dare. But I'll observe him first unseen, and find which way his humour drives. The rest I'll venture.
Withdraws. Enter Antony, walking with a disturbed motion before he speaks.
They tell me 'tis my birthday, and I'll keep it with double pomp of sadness. 'Tis what the day deserves, which gave me breath. Why was I raised the meteor of the world, hung in the skies, and blazing as I travelled till all my fires were spent, and then cast downward to be trod out by Caesar?
Ventidius aside.
On my soul, 'tis mournful, wondrous mournful.
Count thy gains. Now, Antony, wouldst thou be born for this? Glutton of fortune, thy devouring youth has starved thy wanting age.
Ventidius aside.
How sorrow shakes him! So now the tempest tears him up by the roots, and on the ground extends the noble ruin.
Antony having thrown himself down.
Lie there, thou shadow of an emperor. The place thou pressest on thy mother earth is all thy empire now. Now it contains thee. Some few days hence, and then 'twill be too large, when thou'rt contracted in thy narrow urn, shrunk to a few ashes. Then Octavia, for Cleopatra will not live to see it, Octavia then will have thee all her own, and bear thee in her widowed hand to Caesar. Caesar will weep, the crocodile will weep, to see his rival of the universe lie still and peaceful there. I'll think no more on't.
Give me some music, look that it be sad. I'll soothe my melancholy till I swell and burst myself with sighing.
Soft music.
'Tis somewhat to my humour. Stay, I fancy. I'm now turned wild, a common of nature, of all forsaken and forsaking all. Live in a shady forest, sylvan scene. Stretched at my length beneath some blasted oak, I lean my head upon the mossy bark, and look just of a piece as I grew from it. My uncombed locks, matted like mistletoe, hang o'er my hoary face. A murmuring brook runs at my foot.
Methinks I fancy myself there too.
The herd come jumping by me, and fearless quench their thirst while I look on, and take me for their fellow citizen. More of this image, more! It lulls my thoughts.
Soft music again.
I must disturb him. I can hold no longer.
Stands before him. Antony starting up.
Art thou Ventidius?
Are you Antony? I'm liker what I was than you to him I left you last.
I'm angry.
So am I.
I will be private. Leave me.
Sir, I love you, and therefore will not leave you.
Will not leave me? Where have you learnt that answer? Who am I?
My emperor, the man I love next heaven. If I said more, I think 'twas scare a sin. You're all that's good and godlike.
All that's wretched. You will not leave me, then?
'Twas too presuming to say I would not, but I dare not leave you. And 'tis unkind in you to chide me hence so soon, when I so far have come to see you.
Now thou hast seen me, art thou satisfied? For if a friend thou hast beheld enough, and if a foe too much.
Look, Emperor, this is no common dew.
Ventidius weeping.
I have not wept this 40 years, but now my mother comes afresh into my eyes. I cannot help her softness.
By heavens he weeps. Poor good old man, he weeps. The big round drops course one another down the furrows of his cheeks. Stop them, Ventidius, or I shall blush to death. They set my shame that caused them full before me.
I'll do my best.
Sure there's contagion in the tears of friends. See, I have caught it too. Believe me, 'tis not for my own griefs, but thine. Nay, father.
Emperor.
Emperor. Why, that's the style of victory. The conquering soldier, red with unfelt wounds, salutes his general so. But never more shall that sound reach my ears.
I warrant you.
Actium, Actium. Oh,
it sits too near you.
Here it lies, a lump of lead by day, and in my short, distracted nightly slumbers, the hag that rides my dreams.
Out with it! Give it vent!
Urge not my shame. I lost a battle.
So has Julius done.
Thou favourest me, and speak'st not half thou think'st, for Julius fought it out and lost it fairly. But Antony...
Nay, stop not.
Antony... Well, thou wilt have it. Like a coward fled while his soldiers fought. Fled first, Ventidius. Thou longest to curse me, and I give thee leave. I know thou cam'st prepared to rail.
I did.
I'll help thee. I have been a man, Ventidius.
Yes, and a brave one. But...
I know thy meaning, but I have lost my reason, have disgraced the name of soldier with inglorious ease. In the full vintage of my flowing honours, sat still, and saw it pressed by other hands. Fortune came smiling to my youth, and wooed it, and purple greatness met my ripened years. When first I came to empire, I was borne on tides of people, crowding to my triumphs, the wish of nations, and the willing world received me as its pledge of future peace. I was so great, so happy, so beloved, fate could not ruin me, till I took pains and worked against my fortune, chid her from me, and returned her loose. Yet still she came again. My careless days and my luxurious nights at length have wearied her, and now she's gone, gone, divorced forever. Help me, soldier, to curse this madman, this industrious fool, who laboured to be wretched. Prithee, curse me.
No.
Why?
You are too sensible already of what you've done, too conscious of your failings, and like a scorpion whipped by others first to fury, sting yourself in mad revenge. I would bring balm and pour it in your wounds, cure your distempered mind, and heal your fortunes.
I know thou wouldst.
I will. You laugh?
I do, to see officious love give cordials to the dead.
You would be lost, then?
I am.
I say you are not. Try your fortune.
I have, to the utmost. Dost thou think me desperate without just cause? No. When I found all lost beyond repair, I hid me from the world, and learned to scorn it here. Which now I do so heartily, I think it is not worth the cost of keeping.
Caesar thinks not so. He'll thank you for the gift he could not take. You would be killed like Tully, would you? Do hold out your throat to Caesar, and die tamely.
No, I can kill myself, and so resolve.
I can die with you too, when time shall serve. But fortune calls upon us now to live, to fight, to conquer.
Sure thou dream'st, Ventilius?
No, 'tis you dream. You sleep away your hours in desperate sloth, miscalled philosophy. Up, up, for honour's sake! 12 legions wait you, and long to call you chief. By painful journeys I led them, patient both of heat and hunger, down from the Parthian marches to the Nile. 'Twill do you good to see their sunburnt faces, their scarred cheeks and chopped hands. There's virtue in them. They'll sell those mangled limbs at dearer rates than yon trim bands can buy.
Where left you them?
I said in Lower Syria.
Bring them hither. There may be life in these.
They will not come.
Why didst thou mock my hopes with promised aids to double my despair? They are mutinous.
Most firm and loyal.
Yet they will not march to succour me. O trifler!
They petition you would make haste to head them.
I'm besieged.
There's but one way shut up. How came I hither?
I will not stir.
They would perhaps desire a better reason.
I have never used my soldiers to demand a reason of my actions. Why did they refuse to march?
They said they would not fight for Cleopatra.
What was they said?
They said they would not fight for Cleopatra. Why should they fight indeed? To make her conquer, and make you more a slave, to gain you kingdoms, which for a kiss at your next midnight feast you'll sell to her. Then she new names her jewels, and calls this diamond such or such a tax. Each pendant in her ear shall be a province.
Ventilius, I allow your tongue free license on all my other faults, but on your life, no word of Cleopatra. She deserves more worlds than I can lose.
Behold, you powers, to whom you have entrusted humankind. See Europe, Africa, Asia put in balance, and all weighed down by one light, worthless woman. I think the gods are Antony's, and give, like prodigals, this nether world away to none but wasteful hands.
You grow presumptuous.
I take the privilege of plain love to speak.
Plain love, plain arrogance, plain insolence. Thy men are cowards, thou an envious traitor, who, under seeming honesty, hast vented the burden of thy rank, overflowing Gaul. Oh, that thou wert my equal, great in arms as the first Caesar was, that I might kill thee without a stain to honour.
You may kill me. You have done more already. Called me traitor.
Art thou not one?
For showing you yourself, which none else durst have done. But had I been that name which I disdain to speak again, I needed not have sought your abject fortunes, come to partake your fate, to die with you. What hindered me to have led my conquering eagles to fill Octavius's bands? I could have been a traitor then, a glorious, happy traitor, and not have been so called.
Forgive me, soldier. I have been too passionate.
You thought me false, thought my old age betrayed you. Kill me, sir, pray kill me. Yet you need not, your unkindness has left your sword no work.
I did not think so. I said it in my rage. Prithee, forgive me. Why didst thou tempt my anger by discovery of what I would not hear?
No prince but you could merit that sincerity I used, nor durst another man have ventured it. But you, ere love misled your wandering eyes, were sure the chief and best of human race, framed in the very pride and boast of nature, so perfect that the gods who formed you wondered at their own skill and cried, "A lucky hit has mended our design." Their envy hindered, else you had been immortal and a pattern when heaven would work for ostentation's sake to copy out again.
But Cleopatra, go on, for I can bear it now.
No more.
Thou darest not trust my passion, but thou mayst. Thou only lovest, the rest have flattered me.
Heaven's blessing on your heart for that kind word. May I believe you love me? Speak again.
Indeed I do. Speak this, and this, and this.
Hugging him.
Thy praises were unjust, but I'll deserve them, and yet mend all. Do with me what thou wilt. Lead me to victory. Thou know'st the way.
And will you leave this?
Prithee, do not curse her, and I will leave her. Though heaven knows I love beyond life, conquest, empire, all but honour. But I will leave her.
That's my royal master. And shall we fight?
I warrant thee, old soldier, thou shalt behold me once again in iron, and at the head of our old troops that beat the Parthians cry aloud, "Come, follow me."
Oh, now I hear my emperor. In that word Octavius fell. Gods, let me see that day, and if I have 10 years behind, take all. I'll thank you for the exchange.
Oh, Cleopatra.
Again?
I've done. And at last sigh she went. Caesar shall know what 'tis to force the lover from all he holds most dear.
Methinks you breathe another soul. Your looks are more divine. You speak a hero, and you move a god.
Oh, thou hast fired me. My soul's up in arms, and man's each part about me. Once again that noble eagerness of fight has seized me, that eagerness with which I darted upward to Cassius's camp. In vain the steepy hill opposed my way. In vain a war of spears sung round my head and planted on my shield. I won the trenches, while my foremost men lagged on the plain below.
Ye gods, for such another honour!
Come on, my soldier. Our hearts and arms are still the same. I long once more to meet our foes, that thou and I, like time and death, marching before our troops, may taste fate to them, mow them out a passage, and, entering where the foremost squadrons yield, begin the noble harvest of the field.
End of Act 1. Act 2 of All for Love, or The World Well Lost. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. All for Love, or The World Well Lost by John Dryden. Act 2. Enter Cleopatra, Iris, and Alexis.
What shall I do, or whither shall I turn? Ventidius has o'ercome, and he will go.
He goes to fight for you.
Then he would see me ere he went to fight. Flatter me not. Once he goes, he's lost, and all my hopes destroyed.
Does this weak passion become a mighty queen?
I am no queen. Is this to be a queen, to be besieged by yon insulting Roman, and to wait each hour the victor's chain? These ills are small, for Antony is lost, and I can mourn for nothing else but him. Now, come, Octavius, I have no more to lose. Prepare thy bands, I'm fit to be a captive. Antony has taught my mind the fortune of a slave.
Call reason to assist you.
I have none, and none would have. My love's a noble madness, which shows the cause deserved it. Moderate sorrow fits vulgar love, and for a vulgar man. But I have loved with such transcendent passion, I soared at first, quite out of reason's view, and now am lost above it. No, I am proud 'tis thus. Would Antony could see me now, think you he would not sigh, though he must leave me? Sure he would sigh, for he is noble-natured, and bears a tender heart. I know him well. Ah, no, I know him not. I knew him once, but now 'tis past.
Let it be past with you. Forget him, madam.
Never, never, Iris. He once was mine, and once, though now 'tis gone, leaves a faint image of possession still.
Think him inconstant, cruel, and ungrateful.
I cannot. If I could, those thoughts were vain. Faithless, ungrateful, cruel though he be, I still must love him.
Enter Carmion.
Now, what news, my Carmion? Will he be kind, and will he not forsake me? Am I to live or die? Nay, do I live, or am I dead? For when he gave his answer, fate took the word, and then I lived or died.
I found him, madam.
A long speech preparing? If thou bring'st comfort, haste and give it to me, for never was more need.
I know he loves you.
Had he been kind, her eyes had told me so before her tongue could speak it. Now she studies to soften what he said. But give me death, just as he sent it, Carmion, undisguised, and in the words he spoke.
I found him, then, encompassed around, I think, with iron statues. So mute, so motionless his soldiers stood, while awfully he cast his eyes about, and every leader's hopes or fears surveyed. Methought he looked resolved, and yet not pleased. When he beheld me struggling in the crowd, he blushed, and bade make way.
There's comfort yet.
Then Tydeus fixed his eyes upon my passage, severely, as he meant to frown me back, and sullenly gave place. I told my message, just as you gave it, broken and disordered. I numbered in it all your sighs and tears, and while I moved your pitiful request, that you but only begged a last farewell, he fetched an inward groan, and every time I named you, sighed, as if his heart were breaking, but shunned my eyes, and guiltily looked down. He seemed not now that awful Antony, who shook an armed assembly with his nod, but, making show as he would rub his eyes, disguised and blotted out a falling tear.
Did he then weep? And was I worth a tear? If what thou hast to say be not as pleasing, tell me no more, but let me die contented.
He bid me say, he knew himself so well, he could deny you nothing if he saw you, and therefore—
Thou wouldst say he would not see me?
And therefore begged you not to use a power, which he could ill resist, yet he should ever respect you as he ought.
Is that a word for Antony to use to Cleopatra? Oh, that faint word, respect! How I disdain it! Disdain myself for loving after it. He should have kept that word for cold Octavia. Respect is for a wife. Am I that thing, that dull, insipid lump, without desires and without power to give them?
You misjudge. You see through love, and that deludes your sight, as what is straight seems crooked through the water. But I, who bear my reason undisturbed, can see this Antony, this dreaded man, a fearful slave, who fain would run away, and shuns his master's eyes. If you pursue him, my life on it, he still drags a chain along, that needs must cloak his flight.
Could I believe thee?
By every circumstance I know he loves. True, he is hard pressed by interest and by honour, yet he but doubts and parleys and casts out many a long look for succour.
He sends word, he fears to see my face.
And would you more? He shows his weakness who declines the combat, and you must urge your fortune. Could he speak more plainly? To my ears the message sounds, come to my rescue, Cleopatra, come. Come, free me from Ventitus, from my tyrant. See me and give me a pretence to leave him. I hear his trumpets. This way he must pass. Please you retire a while. I'll work him first, then he may bend more easy.
You shall rule me, but all I fear in vain.
Exit with Carmion and Iris.
I fear so too, though I concealed my thoughts to make her bold, but 'tis our utmost means, and fate befriended it.
Withdraws. Enter lictors with fasces, one bearing the eagle. Then enter Antony with Ventidius, followed by other commanders.
Octavius is the minion of blind chance, but holds from virtue nothing.
Has he courage?
But just enough to season him from coward. Oh, 'tis the coldest youth upon a charge, the most deliberate fighter. If he ventures, as in Illyria once they say he did to storm a town, 'tis when he cannot choose, when all the world have fixed their eyes upon him, and then he lives on that for 7 years after. But at a close revenge he never fails.
I heard you challenged him.
I did, Ventidius. What thinkest thou was his answer? 'Twas so tame. He said he had more ways than one to die. I had not.
Poor.
He has more ways than one, but he would choose them all before that one.
He first would choose an ague or a fever.
No, it must be an ague, not a fever. He has not warmth enough to die by that.
Or old age and a bed.
Ay, there's his choice. He would live like a lamp to the last wink, and crawl the utmost verge of life. Oh, Hercules, why should a man like this, who dares not trust his fate for one great action, be all the care of heaven? Why should he lord it o'er 80,000 men, of whom each one is braver than himself?
You conquered for him. Philippi knows it. There you shared with him that empire which your sword made all your own.
Fool that I was, upon my eagle's wings I bore this wren, till I was tired with soaring, and now he mounts above me. Good heavens, is this the man who braves me? Who bids my age make way, drives me before him to the world's ridge, and sweeps me off like rubbish?
Sir, we lose time. The troops are mounted all.
Then give the word to march. I long to leave this prison of a town, to join thy legions, and, in open field, once more to show my face. Lead, my deliverer.
Enter Alexis.
Great Emperor, in mighty arms renowned above mankind, but in soft pity to the oppressed a god, this message sends the mournful Cleopatra to her departing lord.
Smooth sycophant.
1,000 wishes and 10,000 prayers, millions of blessings wait you to the wars, millions of sighs and tears he sent you too, and would have sent as many dear embraces to your arms, as many parting kisses to your lips, but those, he fears, have wearied you already.
Ventidius aside.
False crocodile!
And yet she begs not now you would not leave her, that were a wish too mighty for her hopes, too presuming for her low fortune and your ebb in love, that were a wish for her more prosperous days, her blooming beauty, and your growing kindness.
Antony aside.
Well, I must man it out. What would the queen?
First, to these noble warriors who attend your daring courage in the chase of fame, too daring and too dangerous for her quiet, she humbly recommends all she holds dear, all her own cares and fears, the care of you.
Yes, witness Actium.
Let him speak, Ventidius.
You, when this matchless valor bears him forward, with ardor too heroic on his foes, fall down as he would do before his feet, lie in his way and stop the paths of death. Tell him this god is not invulnerable, that absent Cleopatra bleeds in him, and that you may remember her petition, she begs you wear these trifles as a pawn, which at your wished return she will redeem.
Gives jewels to the commanders.
With all the wealth of Egypt, this to the great Venditus she presents, whom she can never count her enemy, because he loves her lord.
Tell her I'll nod on't. I'm not ashamed of honest poverty. Not all the diamonds of the East can bribe Ventidius from his faith. I hope to see these and the rest of all her sparkling store, where they shall more deservingly be placed.
And who must wear them, then?
The wronged Octavia.
You might have spared that word.
And he that bribe.
But have I no remembrance?
Yes, a dear one, your slave, the queen.
My mistress.
Then your mistress would, she says, have sent her soul, but that you had long since. She humbly begs this ruby bracelet, set with bleeding hearts, the emblems of her own, may bind your arm.
Presenting a bracelet.
Now, my best lord, in honour's name, I ask you, for manhood's sake and for your own dear safety, touch not these poisoned gifts, infected by the sender. Touch them not. Myriads of bluest plagues lie underneath them, and more than aconite has dipped the silk.
Nay, now you grow too cynical, Ventidius. A lady's favours may be worn with honour. What, to refuse a bracelet? On my soul, when I lie pensive in my tent alone, 'twill pass the wakeful hours of winter nights, to tell these pretty beads upon my arm, to count for every one a soft embrace, a melting kiss at such and such a time, and now and then the fury of a love when— and what harm's in this?
None, my lord, but what's to her that's now dispast for ever?
Antony, going to tie it.
We soldiers are so awkward. Help me tie it.
In faith, my lord, we courtiers too are awkward in these affairs. So are all men indeed, even I, who am I not one, but shall I speak?
Yes, freely.
Then, my lord, fair hands alone are fit to tie it. See who send it can.
Hell, death! This eunuch Panda ruins you. You will not see her.
Alexis whispers an attendant, who goes out.
But to take my leave.
Then I have washed an Ethiop. You're undone. You're in the toils. You're taken. You're destroyed. Her eyes do Caesar's work.
You fear too soon. I'm constant to myself. I know my strength, and yet she shall not think me barbarous neither, born in the depths of Afric. I am a Roman, bred in the rules of soft humanity. A guest, and kindly used, should bid farewell.
You do not know how weak you are to her, how much an infant. You are not proof against a smile or glance. A sigh will quite disarm you.
See, she comes. Now you shall find your error. Gods, I thank you. I formed the danger greater than it was, and now 'tis near, 'tis lessened.
Mark the end yet.
Enter Cleopatra, Charmian, and Iris.
Well, madam, we are met.
Is this a meeting? Then we must part?
We must.
Who says we must?
Our own hard fates.
We make those fates ourselves.
Yes, we have made them. We have loved each other into our mutual ruin.
The gods have seen my joys with envious eyes. I have no friends in heaven, and all the world, as 'twere the business of mankind to part us, is armed against my love. Even you yourself join with the rest. You are armed against me.
I will be justified in all I do to late posterity, and therefore hear me. If I mix a lie with any truth, reproach me freely with it, else favour me with silence.
You command me, and I am dumb.
I like this well. He shows authority.
That I derive my ruin from you alone.
Oh, heavens! I ruin you?
You promised me your silence, and you break it ere I have scarce begun.
Well, I obey you.
When I beheld you first, it was in Egypt. Ere Caesar saw your eyes, you gave me love, and were too young to know it. That I settled your father in his throne was for your sake. I left the acknowledgment for time to ripen. Caesar stepped in, and with a greedy hand plucked the green fruit ere the first blush of red, yet cleaving to the bough. He was my lord, and was beside too great for me to rival. But I deserved you first, though he enjoyed you. When after I beheld you in Cilicia, an enemy to Rome, I pardoned you,
I cleared myself.
Again you break your promise. I loved you still, and took your weak excuses, took you into my bosom, stained by Caesar, and not half mine. I went to Egypt with you, and hid me from the business of the world, shut out inquiring nations from my sight, to give whole years to you.
Ventidius aside.
Yes, to your shame be 't spoken.
How I loved! Witness, ye days and nights, and all ye hours, that danced away with down upon your feet, as all your business were to count my passion. One day passed by, and nothing saw but love. Another came, and still 'twas only love. The suns were wearied out with looking on, and I untired with loving. I saw you every day, and all the day, and every day was still but as the first. So eager was I still to see you more.
'Tis all too true.
Fulvia, my wife, grew jealous, as she indeed had reason, raised a war in Italy to call me back.
But yet you went not.
While within your arms I lay, the world fell mouldering from my hands each hour, and left me scarce a grasp. I thank your love for it.
Well pushed. That last was home.
Yet, may I speak?
If I have urged a falsehood, yes, else not. Your silence says I have not. Fulvia died, pardon your gods, with my unkindness, died. To set the world at peace I took Octavia, this Caesar's sister, in her pride of youth, and flower of beauty, did I wed that lady, whom blushing I must praise, because I left her. You called, my love obeyed the fatal summons. This raised the Roman arms. The cause was yours. I would have fought by land where I was stronger. You hindered it. Yet when I fought at sea, forsook me fighting, and, O stain to honour, O lasting shame! I knew not that I fled, but fled to follow you.
What haste she made to hoist her purple sails, and to appear magnificent in flight drew half our strength away.
All this you caused, and would you multiply more ruins on me? This honest man, my best, my only friend, has gathered up the shipwreck of my fortunes. 12 legions I have left, my last recruits. And you have watched the news, and bring your eyes to seize them too. If you have aught to answer, now speak. You have free leave.
Alexis aside.
She stands confounded. Despair is in her eyes.
Now lay a sigh in the way to stop his passage. Prepare a tear and bid it for his legions. 'Tis like they shall be sold.
How shall I plead my cause when you, my judge, have already condemned me? Shall I bring the love you bore me for my advocate? That now is turned against me, that destroys me. For love, once past, is at the best forgotten, but oftener sours to hate. 'Twill please my lord to ruin me, and therefore I'll be guilty. But could I once have thought it would have pleased you, that you would pry with narrow searching eyes into my faults, severe to my destruction, and watching all advantages with care that serve to make me wretched. Speak, my lord, for I end here. Though I deserved this usage, was it like you to give it?
Oh, you wrong me. To think I sought this parting, or desired to accuse you more than what will clear myself and justify this breach.
Thus low I thank you, and since my innocence will not offend, I shall not blush to own it.
After this I think she'll blush at nothing.
You seem grieved, and therein you are kind, that Caesar first enjoyed my love, though you deserved it better. I grieve for that, my lord, much more than you, for, had I first been yours, it would have saved my second choice. I never had been his, and ne'er had been but yours. But Caesar first, you say, possessed my love? Not so, my lord. He first possessed my person, you my love. Caesar loved me, but I loved Antony. If I endured him after, 'twas because I judged it due to the first name of men, and, half constrained, I gave as to a tyrant what he would take by force.
Oh, Siren! Siren! Yet grant that all the love she boasts were true, has she not ruined you? I still urge that, the fatal consequence.
The consequence indeed, for I dare challenge him, my greatest foe, to say it was designed. 'Tis true I loved you, and kept you far from an uneasy wife, such Fulvia was. Yes, but he'll say, you left Octavia for me, and can you blame me to receive that love which quitted such desert for worthless me? How often have I wished some other Caesar, great as the first and as the second young, would court my love to be refused for you.
Words, words! But Actium, sir, remember Actium!
Even there I dare his malice. True, I counselled to fight at sea, but I betrayed you not. I fled, but not to the enemy. 'Twas fear. Would I had been a man, not to have feared, for none would then have envied me your friendship, who envy me your love.
We are both unhappy. If nothing else, yet our ill fortune parts us. Speak, would you have me perish by my stay?
If as a friend you ask my judgment, go. If as a lover, stay. If you must perish, 'tis a hard word, but stay.
See now the effects of her so boasted love. She strives to drag you down to ruin with her. But could she scape without you, oh, how soon would she let go her hold, and haste to shore, and never look behind!
Then judge my love by this.
Giving Antony a writing.
Could I have borne a life or death, a happiness or woe, from yours divided, this had given me means.
By Hercules, the writing of Octavius. I know it well. 'Tis that prescribing hand, young as it was, that led the way to mine, and left me but the second place in murder. See, Ventidius, here he offers Egypt, and joins all Syria to it as a present, so in requital she forsake my fortunes and join her arms with his.
And yet you leave me, Antony, and yet I love you. Indeed I do. I have refused a kingdom, that is a trifle, for I could part with life, with anything, but only you. Oh, let me but die with you. Is that a hard request?
Next living with you, 'tis all that heaven can give.
Alexis aside.
He melts. We conquer.
No, you shall go. Your interest calls you hence. Yes, your dear interest pulls too strong for these weak arms to hold you here.
Takes his hand.
Go, leave me, soldier, for you're no more a lover. Leave me dying. Push me, all pale and panting, from your bosom, and, when your march begins, let one run after, breathless almost for joy, and cry, "She's dead!" The soldiers shout. You then, perhaps, may sigh, and muster all your Roman gravity. Ventidius chides, and straight your brow clears up, as I had never been.
Gods, 'tis too much for man to bear.
What is it for me then, a weak, forsaken woman and a lover? Here let me breathe my last. Envy me not this minute in your arms. I'll die apace, as fast as e'er I can, and end your trouble.
Die? Rather let me perish, loosen nature, leap from its hinges, sink the props of heaven, and fall the skies to crush the nether world. My eyes, my soul, my all.
Embraces her.
And what's this toy, in balance with your fortune, honour, fame?
What is Ventidius? It outweighs them all. Why, we have more than conquered Caesar now. My queen's not only innocent, but loves me. This is she who drags me down to ruin. But could she escape without me? With what haste would she let slip her hold, and make to shore, and never look behind? Down on thy knees, blasphemer as thou art, and ask forgiveness of wronged innocence.
I'll rather die than take it. Will you go?
Go? Whither? Go from all that's excellent? Faith, honour, virtue, all good things forbid that I should go from her, who sets my love above the price of kingdoms. Give, ye gods, give to your boy, your Caesar, this rattle of a globe to play withal, this gewgaw world, and put him cheaply off. I'll not be pleased with less than Cleopatra.
She's wholly yours, my heart's so full of joy that I shall do some wild extravagance of love in public, and the foolish world, which knows not tenderness, will think me mad.
Oh, women, women, women! All the gods have not such power of doing good to man as you of doing harm.
Exit.
Our men are armed. Unbar the gate that looks to Caesar's camp. I would revenge the treachery he meant me, and long security makes conquest easy. I am eager to return before I go, for all the pleasures I have known beat thick on my remembrance. How I long for night, that both the sweets of mutual love may try, and triumph once o'er Caesar ere we die.
End of Act 2. Act 3 of All for Love, All the World Well Lost. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. All for Love, or The World Well Lost by John Dryden. Act 3. At one door enter Cleopatra, Charmian, Iris, and Alexis, a train of Egyptians. At the other, Antony and Romans. The entrance on both sides is prepared by music, the trumpets first sounding on Antony's part, then answered by timbrels, etc., on Cleopatra's. Charmian and Iris hold a laurel wreath betwixt them, a dance of Egyptians. After the ceremony, Cleopatra crowns Antony.
I thought how those white arms would fold me in, and strain me close, and melt me into love. So pleased with that sweet image, I sprung forwards, and added all my strength to every blow.
Come to me, come, my soldier, to my arms. You've been away too long from my embraces. But when I have you fast and all my own, with broken murmurs and with amorous sighs, I'll say you were unkind, and punish you, and mark you red with many an eager kiss.
My brighter Venus!
O my greater Mars!
Thou join'st us well, my love. Suppose me come from the Phlegarian plains, where gasping giants lay, cleft by my sword, and mountain tops pared off each other blow, to bury those I slew. Receive me, goddess. Let Caesar spread his subtle nets. Like Vulcan in thy embraces I would be beheld by heaven and earth at once, and make their envy what they meant their sport. Let those who took us blush. I would love on with awful state, regardless of their frowns, as their superior gods. There's no satiety of love in thee. Enjoyed thou still art new. Perpetual spring is in thy arms. The ripened fruit but falls, and blossoms rise to fill its empty place, and I grow rich by giving.
Enter Ventidius and stands apart.
Oh, now the danger's past, your general comes. He joins not in your joys, nor minds your triumphs, but with contracted brows looks frowning on, as envying your success.
Now on my soul he loves me, truly loves me. He never flattered me in any vice, but awes me with his virtue. Even this minute, methinks, he has the right of chiding me. Lead to the temple. I'll avoid his presence. It checks too strong upon me.
Exeunt the rest. As Antony is going, Ventidius pulls him by the robe.
Emperor!
Antony, looking back.
'Tis the old argument. I prithee spare me.
But this one hearing, Emperor.
Let go my robe, or by my father Hercules.
By Hercules' father, that's yet greater, I bring you somewhat you would wish to know.
Thou seest we are observed. Attend me here, and I return.
Exit.
I am waning in his favour. Yet I love him. I love this man who runs to meet his ruin, and sure the gods like me are fond of him. His virtues lie so mingled with his crimes as would confound their choice to punish one and not reward the other.
Re-enter Antony.
We can conquer, you see, without your aid. We have dislodged their troops. They look on us at distance, and like curs escaped from the lion's paws, they bay far off, and lick their wounds, and faintly threaten war. 5,000 Romans, with their faces upward, lie breathless on the plain.
'Tis well, and he who lost them could have spared 10,000 more. Yet if by this advantage you could gain an easier peace, while Caesar doubts the chance of arms.
Oh, think not on't, Ventidius. The boy pursues my ruin, he'll know peace. His malice is considerable in advantage. Oh, he's the coolest murderer, so staunch he kills and keeps his temper.
Have you no friend in all his army who has power to move him? Maecenas or Agrippa might do much.
They're both too deep in Caesar's interests. We'll work it out by dint of sword, or perish.
Fain I would find some other.
Thank thy love. Some 4 or 5 such victories as this will save thy further pains.
Expect no more. Caesar is on his guard. I know, sir, you have conquered against odds, but still you draw supplies from one poor town, and of Egyptians. He has all the world, and at his beck nations come pouring in to fill the gaps you make. Pray think again.
Why dost thou drive me from myself to search for foreign aids, to hunt my memory, and range all o'er a waste and barren place to find a friend? The wretched have no friends. Yet I had one, the bravest youth of Rome, whom Caesar loves beyond the love of women. He could resolve his mind, as fired as wax, from that hard rugged image melt him down, and mould him in what softer form he pleased.
Him would I see, that man of all the world. Just such a one we want.
He loved me too. I was his soul. He lived not but in me. We were so closed within each other's breasts, the rivets were not found that joined us first. That does not reach us yet. We were so mixed, as meeting streams, both to ourselves were lost. We were one mass. We could not give or take, but from the same. For he was I he.
Ventidius aside.
He moves as I would wish him.
After this I need not tell his name. 'Twas Dolabella.
He's now in Caesar's camp.
No matter where, since he's no longer mine. He took unkindly that I forbade him Cleopatra's sight, because I feared he loved her. He confessed he had a warmth which, for my sake, he stifled, for 'twere impossible that two, so one, should not have loved the same. When he departed, he took no leave, and that confirmed my thoughts.
It argues that he loved you more than her, else he had stayed. But he perceived you jealous, and would not grieve his friend. I know he loves you.
I should have seen him then, ere now.
Perhaps he has thus long been labouring for your peace.
Would he were here.
Would you believe he loved you? I read your answer in your eyes. You would. Not to conceal it longer, he has sent a messenger from Caesar's camp, with letters.
Let him appear.
I'll bring him instantly.
Exit Ventidius, and re-enters immediately with Dolabella. Antony runs to embrace him.
'Tis himself, my holy friendship! Art thou returned at last, my better half? Come, give me all myself. Let me not live if the young bridegroom, longing for his knight, was ever half so fond.
I must be silent, for my soul is busy about a nobler work. She's new come home like a long absent man, and wanders o'er each room, a stranger to her own, to look if all be safe.
Thou hast what's left of me, for I am now so sunk from what I was, thou find'st me at my lowest water mark. The rivers that ran in and raised my fortunes are all dried up, or take another course. What I have left is from my native spring. I've still a heart that swells in scorn of fate, and lifts me to my banks.
Still you are the lord of all the world to me.
Why, then I yet am so, for thou art all. If I had any joy when thou wert absent, I grudged it to myself. Methought I robbed thee of thy part. But, O my Dolabella, thou hast beheld me other than I am. Hast thou not seen my morning chambers filled with sceptred slaves who waited to salute me, with Eastern monarchs who forgot the sun to worship my uprising? Menial kings ran coursing up and down my palace yard, stood silent in my presence, watched my eyes, and, at my least command, all started out like races to the goal.
Slaves to your fortune.
Fortune is Caesar's now, and what am I?
What you have made yourself. I will not flatter.
Is this friendly done?
Yes, when his end is so, I must join with him. Indeed I must, and yet you must not chide. Why am I else your friend?
Take heed, young man, how thou upbraid'st my love. The queen has eyes, and thou too hast a soul. Canst thou remember, when, swelled with hatred, thou beheld'st her first, as accessory to thy brother's death?
Spare my remembrance. 'Twas a guilty day, and still the blush hangs here.
To clear herself, for sending him no aid, she came from Egypt. Her galley down the silver Cydnus rode, the tackling silk, the streamers waved with gold, the gentle winds were lodged in purple sails. Her nymphs, like Nereids, round her couch were placed, where she, another sea-born Venus, lay.
No more. I would not hear it.
Oh, you must. She lay, and leant her cheek upon her hand, and cast a look so languishingly sweet, as if, secure of all beholders' hearts, neglecting she could take them. Boys, like Cupids, stood fanning with their painted wings the winds that played about her face. But if she smiled, a darting glory seemed to blaze abroad, that men's desiring eyes were never wearied, but hung upon the object. To soft flutes the silver oars kept time, and while they played, the hearing gave new pleasure to the sight, and both to thought. 'Twas heaven, or somewhat more, for she so charmed all hearts, that gazing crowds stood panting on the shore, and wanted breath to give their welcome voice. Then, Dolabella, where was then thy soul? Was not thy fury quite disarmed with wonder? Didst thou not shrink behind me from those eyes, and whisper in my ear, "Oh, tell her not that I accused her with my brother's death"?
And should my weakness be a plea for yours? Mine was an age when love might be excused, when kindly warmth, and when my springing youth made it a debt to nature. Yours?
Speak boldly. Yours, he would say, in your declining age, when no more heat was left but what you forced, when all the sap was needful for the trunk, when it went down, then you constrained the course, and robbed from nature to supply desire. In you, I would not use so harsh a word. 'Tis but plain dotage.
Ha! 'Twas urged too home, but yet the loss was private that I made. 'Twas but myself I lost. I lost no legions. I had no world to lose, no people's love.
This from a friend?
Yes, Antony, a true one, a friend so tender that each word I speak stabs my own heart before it reach your ear. O judge me not less kind because I chide. To Caesar I excuse you.
O ye gods! Have I then lived to be excused to Caesar?
As to your equal.
Well, he's but my equal. While I wear this, he never shall be more.
I bring conditions from him.
Are they noble? Methinks thou shouldst not bring them else. Yet he is full of deep dissembling, knows no honour divided from his interest. Fate mistook him, for nature meant him for a usurer. He's fit indeed to buy, not conquer kingdoms.
Then granting this, what power was theirs, who wrought so hard a temper to honourable terms?
I was my Dolabella, or some god.
Nor I, nor yet Maecenas nor Agrippa. They were your enemies, and I, a friend, too weak alone, yet 'twas a Roman's deed.
'Twas like a Roman done. Show me that man who has preserved my life, my love, my honour. Let me but see his face.
That task is mine, and heaven thou know'st how pleasing.
Exit Ventidius.
You'll remember to whom you stand obliged?
When I forget it, be thou unkind, and that's my greatest curse. My queen shall thank him too.
I fear she will not.
But she shall do it. The queen, my Dolabella. Hast thou not still some grudgings of thy fever?
I would not see her lost.
When I forsake her, leave me my better stars, for she has truth beyond her beauty. Caesar tempted her, at no less price than kingdoms, to betray me. But she resisted all. And yet thou chidest me for loving her too well. Could I do so?
Yes, there's my reason.
Re-enter Ventidius with Octavia, leading Antony's two little daughters. Antony, starting back.
Where? Octavia there!
What, is she poison to you? A disease? Look on her, view her well, and those she brings. Are they all strangers to your eyes? Has nature no secret call, no whisper there, yours?
For shame, my lord, if not for love, receive them with kinder eyes. If you confess a man, meet them, embrace them, bid them welcome to you. Your arms should open, even without your knowledge, to clasp them in. Your feet should turn to wings to bear you to them, and your eyes dart out, and aim a kiss ere you could reach the lips.
I stood amazed to think how they came hither.
I sent for them. I brought them in unknown to Cleopatra's guards.
Yet are you cold?
Thus long I have attended for my welcome, which, as a stranger, sure I might expect. Who am I?
Caesar's sister.
That's unkind. Had I been nothing more than Caesar's sister, no, I had still remained in Caesar's camp. But your Octavia, your much injured wife, though banished from your bed, driven from your house, in spite of Caesar's sister, still is yours. 'Tis true, I have a heart disdains your coldness, and prompts me not to seek what you should offer. But a wife's virtue still surmounts that pride. I come to claim you as my own, to show my duty first, to ask, nay beg, your kindness. Your hand, my lord, 'tis mine, and I will have it.
Taking his hand.
Do, take it. Thou deservest it.
On my soul, and so she does. She's neither too submissive, nor yet too haughty, but so just a mean shows, as it ought, a wife and Roman too.
I fear, Octavia, you have begged my life.
Begged it, my lord?
Yes, begged it, my ambassadress. Poorly and basely begged it of your brother.
Poorly and basely I could never beg, nor could my brother grant.
Shall I, who to my kneeling slave could say, Rise up and be a king, shall I fall down and cry, Forgive me, Caesar? Shall I set a man, my equal, in the place of Jove, as he could give me being? No, that word forgive would choke me up and die upon my tongue.
You shall not need it.
I will not need it. Come, you've all betrayed me. My friend too, to receive some vile conditions. My wife has bought me with her prayers and tears, and now I must become her branded slave. In every peevish mood she will upbraid the life she gave. If I but look awry, she cries, I'll tell my brother.
My hard fortune subjects me still to your unkind mistakes. But the conditions I have brought are such you need not blush to take. I love your honour, because 'tis mine. It never shall be said Octavia's husband was her brother's slave. Sir, you are free, free even from her you loathe. For though my brother bargains for your love, makes me the price and cement of your peace, I have a soul like yours. I cannot take your love as alms, nor beg what I deserve. I'll tell my brother we are reconciled. He shall draw back his troops, and you shall march to rule the East. I may be dropped at Athens, no matter where. I never will complain, but only keep the barren name of wife, and rid you of the trouble.
Was ever such a strife of sullen honour? Both scorn to be obliged.
Oh, she has touched him in the tenderest part. See how he reddens with despite and shame to be outdone in generosity.
See how he winks, how he dries up a tear that fain would fall.
Octavia, I have heard you, and must praise the greatness of your soul, but cannot yield to what you have proposed, for I can never be conquered but by love, and you do all for duty. You would free me, and would be dropped at Athens. Was not so?
It was, my lord.
Then I must be obliged to one who loves me not, who to herself may call me thankless and ungrateful man. I'll not endure it, no.
Ventidius aside.
I am glad it pinches there.
Would you triumph over poor Octavia's virtue? That pride was all I had to bear me up, that you might think you owed me for your life, and owed it to my duty, not my love. I have been injured, and my haughty soul could brook but ill the man who slights my bed.
Therefore you love me not.
Therefore, my lord, I should not love you.
Therefore you would leave me.
And therefore I should leave you, if I could.
Her soul's too great after such injuries to say she loves, and yet she lets you see it. Her modesty and silence plead her cause.
Oh, Dolabella, which way shall I turn? I find a secret yielding in my soul. But Cleopatra, who would die with me, must she be left? Pity pleads for Octavia, but does it not plead more for Cleopatra?
Justice and pity both plead for Octavia. For Cleopatra, neither. One would be ruined with you, but she first had ruined you. The other you have ruined, and yet she would preserve you. In everything their merits are unequal.
Oh, my distracted soul!
Sweet heaven, compose it. Come, come, my lord. If I can pardon you, methinks you should accept it. Look on these, are they not yours? Or stand they thus neglected as they are mine? Go to him, children, go. Kneel to him, take him by the hand, speak to him. For you may speak, and he may own you too without a blush, and so he cannot all his children. Go, I say, and pull him to me, and pull him to yourselves from that bad woman. You, Agrippina, hang upon his arms, and you, Antonia, clasp about his waist. If he will shake you off, if he will dash you against the pavement, you must bear it, children, for you are mine, and I was born to suffer.
Here the children go to him, etc.
Was ever sight so moving? Emperor.
Friend.
Husband.
Father!
I am vanquished. Take me, Octavia. Take me, children. Share me all.
Embracing them.
I've been a thriftless debtor to your loves, and run up much in riot from your stock. But all shall be amended.
O blessed hour!
O happy change!
My joy stops at my tongue, but it has found two channels here for one, and bubbles out above.
Antony to Octavia.
This is thy triumph. Lead me where thou wilt, even to thy brother's camp.
All there are yours.
Enter Alexis hastily.
The queen, my mistress, sir, and yours.
'Tis past. Octavia, you shall stay this night. Tomorrow, Caesar and we are one.
Exit leading Octavia. Dolabella and the children follow.
There's news for you. Run, my officious eunuch. Be sure to be the first. Haste forward. Haste, my dear eunuch, haste.
Exit.
This downright fighting fool, this thick-skulled hero, this blunt, unthinking instrument of death, with plain dull virtue has outgone my wit. Pleasure forsook my earliest infancy, the luxury of others robbed my cradle, and ravished thence the promise of a man. cast out from nature, disinherited of what her meanest children claim by kind. Yet greatness kept me from contempt. That's gone. Had Cleopatra followed my advice, then he had been betrayed who now forsakes. She dies for love, but she has known it joys. Gods, is this just that I, who know no joys, must die because she loves?
Enter Cleopatra, Charmian, Iris, and Train.
Oh, madam, I have seen what blasts my eyes. Octavia is here.
Peace with that raven's note. I know it too, and now am in the pangs of death.
You are no more a queen. Egypt is lost.
What tellest thou me of Egypt? My life, my soul is lost. Octavia has him. O fatal name to Cleopatra's love! My kisses, my embraces now are hers, while But thou hast seen my rival. Speak, does she deserve this blessing? Is she fair, bright as a goddess? And is all perfection confined to her? It is. Poor I was made of that coarse matter which, when she was finished, the gods threw by for rubbish.
She's indeed a very miracle.
Death to my hopes! A miracle!
Alexis, bowing.
A miracle. I mean of goodness, for in beauty, madam, you make all wonders cease.
I was too rash. Take this in part of recompense. But, oh!
Giving a ring.
I fear thou flatterest me.
She comes! She's here!
Fly, madam, Caesar's sister.
Were she the sister of the thunderer Jove, and bore her brother's lightning in her eyes, thus would I face my rival.
Meets Octavia with Ventidius. Octavia bears up to her. Their trains come up on either side.
I need not ask if you are Cleopatra. Your haughty carriage
shows I am a queen, nor need I ask you who you are.
A Roman, a name that makes and can unmake a queen.
Your lord, the man who serves me, is a Roman.
He was a Roman, till he lost that name, to be a slave in Egypt. But I come to free him thence.
Peace, peace, my lover's Juno. When he grew weary of that household clog, he chose my easier bonds.
I wonder not your bonds are easy. You have long been practised in that lascivious art. He is not the first for whom you spread your snares. Let Caesar witness.
I loved not Caesar, 'twas but gratitude I paid his love. The worst your malice can is but to say the greatest of mankind has been my slave. The next, but far above him in my esteem, is he whom law calls yours, but whom his love made mine.
Octavia, coming up close to her.
I would view nearer that face which has so long usurped my right, to find the inevitable charms that catch mankind so sure, that ruined my dear lord.
Oh, you do well to search, for had you known but half these charms, you had not lost his heart.
Far be their knowledge from a Roman lady, far from a modest wife. Shame of our sex! Dost thou not blush to own those black endearments that make sin pleasing?
You may blush who want them. If bounteous nature, if indulgent heaven have given me charms to please the bravest man, should I not thank them? Should I be ashamed and not proud? I am, that he has loved me, and, when I love not him, heaven change this face for one like that.
Thou lovest him not so well.
I love him better, and deserve him more.
You do not, cannot. You have been his ruin. Who made him cheap at Rome, but Cleopatra? Who made him scorned abroad, but Cleopatra? At Actium, who betrayed him? Cleopatra. Who made his children orphans, and poor me a wretched widow? Only Cleopatra.
Yet she who loves him best is Cleopatra. If you have suffered, I have suffered more. You bear the specious title of a wife to gild your cause, and draw the pitying world to favour it. The world condemns poor me, for I have lost my honour, lost my fame, and stained the glory of my royal house, and all to bear the branded name of mistress. There wants but life, and that too I would lose for him I love.
Be it so, then. Take thy wish.
Exit with her train.
And 'tis my wish. Now he is lost, for whom alone I lived. My sight grows dim, and every object dances and swims before me in the maze of death. My spirits, while they were opposed, kept up. They could not sink beneath a rival's scorn. But now she's gone, they faint.
Mine have had leisure to recollect their strength and furnish counsel to ruin her. Who else must ruin you?
Vain promiser, lead me, my Charmian, nay, your hand too, Iris. My grief has weight enough to sink you both. Conduct me to some solitary chamber, and draw the curtains round. Then leave me to myself, to take alone my fill of grief. There I till death will his unkindness weep, as harmless infants moan themselves asleep.
End of Act 3.